The Canadian military is being deployed to coronavirus-infected nursing homes, but it looks, well, like so much of what they do, that they don't have the protective equipment they need to do the job properly. The Wuhan coronavirus is hammering Canadian nursing homes and extended care facilities. It is so bad in Quebec that the Canadian military is being deployed to help. Just look at this in Global News. Lieutenant Commander Heather Galbraith normally works as a family physician in Ontario, but is part of a medical team from the Canadian Forces that have been deployed as part of Operation Laser, the force's response to the pandemic. The teams will mostly help out with daily tasks. Now, the same thing is happening in Ontario as they deal with the coronavirus. Look at this from City News. Canadian Armed Forces will be providing support to 5 long-term care homes in the GTA that are battling the coronavirus. They include Orchard Villa in Pickering, Altamont Care in Scarborough, Eatonville Care Centre in Etobicoke, Hawthorne Place in North York, and Holland Christian Homes Grace Manor in Brampton. Premier Doug Ford's office said military support may be redeployed to other sites as the situations at various homes change. But for this virus, like so much involving the military these days, the military may be under-equipped, reminiscent of those old rucksacks, aging fighter jets, and rotationally distributed 30-year-old sleeping bags that they have to share amongst themselves. You see, we watch the government contract and procurement website. We want to see what the government is buying, ordering, and contracting for because it reveals both what the government has plans to do and sometimes to do to us, but it also shows us where the government has failed. Like right now, we see the government desperately trying to buy masks because Trudeau gave them all away to China, even as Canadians were becoming infected with the coronavirus here at home. Now, here's where the Liberal government has failed to properly prepare our military for the work that they are being tasked to do and the work that they may have to do in a brave new world where mask wearing is just part of day-to-day life. Just now, and only now, the Canadian government is looking for vendors to provide cloth masks, face coverings, for the Canadian military to protect themselves. Now, the contract says the region of delivery would be Alberta and Quebec, initially for 120,000 units with a possibility of 600,000. And the order would not be finalized until May 21st and not delivered until as late as June 30th, 2020. Now, we know the Canadian military, to prepare themselves, has been putting soldiers into isolation to get them ready to be deployed to nursing homes and overwhelmed hospitals, should the hospitals ever become overwhelmed. I don't think we're there yet. The military's been doing this for about a month now. But just now, a request for tender dated April 27th, 2020, is indicative of the government just getting around to thinking that the military might need to protect themselves from the coronavirus? And this last-minute, rushed and desperate purchase of masks? Well, it's going to cost more than it should, I guarantee that. Look at this in Blacklocks from this morning. Federal failure to stock up on vital medical supplies has cost taxpayers some $500 million, according to figures submitted to the Commons Government Operations Committee. The Department of Public Works said it's now forced to pay a 380% pandemic price markup for masks needed by doctors and paramedics. The Canadian government is likely going to pay a 380% premium to get the Canadian military the stuff they need now delivered 2 months from now. Even in a pandemic, the Liberals treat the Canadian military as just an afterthought. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn. The Canadian government has failed catastrophically to protect Canadians during the pandemic, and part of their failure was having Dr. Theresa Tam at the helm of the Canadian Public Health Agency. To see all of our coverage of her and to sign our petition calling on the government to fire her, go to firetam.com.